What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up, peoples? We're starting the evening. Who are we starting off with?
Who are we starting off with?
Little Mary J. Blige. Hang on. And we got hearts already. You guys are amazing.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're jamming to some music right now. Hello, K Ding. Hello.
Hearts. What's up, Angel Marks?
This room's filling up really fast.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
What's up, everybody? Love all your hearts.
Bump and Mary.
Say hi. Say where you're from. Yes, Bump and Mary. Exactly.
Hello, Cinemasis. Hello, T. Matin Photography.
Awesome.
Hello, Abel. I'm so sorry we didn't get to see each other when you were in town.
I am Casey's on. Will Weston.
Oh, Music Soul Child. This is some old school stuff. I like music, though. I like music. Hello, Eduardo.
What's up, Alyssa? Wait, who's
New
that?
York is in the building. All right, Abel.
What's up, Rash?
Australia and Argentina.
We got Orlando, Florida over here.
Colombia.
Ooh.
Costa Rica. I feel like I'm doing like a beauty pageant. I feel like I'm hosting a truly. From Rio.
Ooh.
Oh. Hariem. Oh no, Harlem.
One thing about beauty pageants,
I know, right? I'm like, from Hariem, as if like it's a city. Hello, Georgia.
West Palm, Florida. What's up? What does that say? Murrieta, California. Awesome. Columbia. Toronto.
Seal Beach, Minnesota. Atlanta.
Alyssa.
Atlanta.
You're beautiful.
Bronx. Ohio.
So old school. I love it. Houston.
Thank you.
Atlantis. Awesome.
Egypt.
Weston.
Hello.
Yes.
Egyptian over here.
Ooh.
Egyptian.
Yes.
Hello, infinite beings. Sending you love. Hello, Philippines. Los Angeles. Compton.
Compton. Nice. Love that.
They like the music. Good choice, sir.
Right?
Istanbul. Queens, New
We had
York.
double hearts going at the same time.
Dubai. Hello.
Michigan. Just moved to from LA to Hawaii. Awesome.
Miami. All right. I guess we can
I think we
turn
can
the
start.
music off.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Hello, guys. So we are going to be answering any questions you may have for us tonight. So let's start with a question.
Yeah. And, I was going to read for you.
Oh, thank you, Spell Frenchette. That's very sweet of you. Hello, North Dakota.
And we got a question from last week. So, you were on your call, and I said plug in questions. And so you guys can know that you can always either email us questions or Instagram message us questions that you have, and then we can do kind of like a little answering session on them now. What's up, Virginia? What's up, Florida?
What was the the question?
This question. And I don't know. So you guys can always say if you don't want to have your name shouted out or not.
Yeah, please do that,
right?
because we want to honor your confidentiality.
Totally. So I'm not going to say who the question is from just because I don't have clarification on whether that would be all right. But it's
Hi, Bella.
Awesome.
Hello.
So the question, which I think, and we'll see who has kind of experienced something like this too, because it was a little bit unique that I thought, but something I've definitely experienced, and I know you probably have as well. So the question, she said, was based on a lectures, meditation, positive affirmations that she was listening to by a Joseph Murray.
Okay.
Which I am not super familiar with. But the other night she was listening to them and felt so weird. It felt like her soul was wobbling and it was going to fly out of her body. I know that sounds weird, but I got chills and then I got really sleepy and knocked out. but it's like this wobbly feeling is there, almost like everything is a dream and surreal. So what I tapped into with that when I read it was, everybody has different, we're always sending different transmissions, right? Whether it's the tone of voice that we use or, and whatever our intention is behind that. And so I'm not saying that this, Joseph Murray had any negative intentions. I want to be super clear on that, right? But sometimes I feel like when we're listening to different meditations or affirmations or whatever they are, and even the ones that we pick up on for ourselves, it's an energy shift. So if it's a higher vibrational energy, then that's going to pull your physical energy body into another state, which can kind of like feel like, it's got to find balance.
Yeah, it's discombobulating.
Yeah, a little bit. So that's kind of what I got from that, was that it was actually a higher vibration that was pulling her physical body up.
And as it was doing that, it was bringing up some of her deeply rooted fears, which is like, oh my God, like, where am I going? Or where am I?
Yeah, because anytime that we don't know what something feels like or it's foreign to us, then our first instinct is to fear it.
Yes.
Even though it could be something that's really beneficial for us and it's a positive vibration. But also, if we've never experienced that vibration before, then it's like, holy cow, like, what is this? It's like the first time you went flying on a plane.
Exactly.
Or on a boat. Or
what
something.
I like to do is I like to play with everything that happens. Like, even if it's a sneeze or like a yawn, I don't just sneeze or yawn. I try to
Sneezes are like half of an orgasm, I think.
Are they?
I don't know.
I'm like, is there a portal in here? Like, is there like an exit where I can leave my body? But I try to play with like everything that happens to me. I know that was a little random, but yeah. All right, so let's get into questions now.
Yeah, totally. So you go first. So we'll do, if you guys were on with us last time, we'll do yours and then we'll jump over onto mine. And thank you guys all for jumping on and being here.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. All right, I like this question right here. So, Renata, how do we know we're going through the dark night of the soul? It's a very good question. You always know that you're going through a dark night of the soul based on whether or not you're feeling depressed. So I think of it as like a lot of people out there think that they're depressed because that's how we're like medically diagnosed. But the truth is we're going through, it's like spiritual fever. And you're
that's a good way to put it.
It's like spiritual fever,
it's like
and what you're
spiritual hot flash.
It's like a spiritual hot flash, and what you're actually undergoing is a massive, I guess, unpeeling of layers that are no longer needed on your journey, that are no longer in accordance with your energy body.
Away.
It's a stripping away. Beautiful. And so, so you know that you're going through a dark night of the soul if you feel depressed. What I like to do is to say, I am so privileged to be going through this transformation, and I'm so thankful to my guides and to all of those who are guiding me on my journey, who think that I'm strong enough to go through this right now. And the more that you experience these dark nights of the soul, and you'll find you go through extensive ones and then with many dark nights of the soul, and always see it as a privilege. Okay? And the more that you sit and settle into that space, the more it will feel good when you go through it. So what you'll be doing is you'll be transmuting pain.
Appreciating it.
Yes, you're going to be transmuting pain into pleasure because you know that your body is being upgraded.
Yes.
And so through appreciation.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point.
And so one thing that worked for me, and that I've expressed as well to other people going through the same thing.
And sorry, by the way, we're having a little wine tonight. So here's to being spiritual and enjoying the pleasures of life.
Which was so needed today. It was such a kick-ass day.
Such a kick-ass day.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bam.
Cheers to all of you guys. So one of the things that really helped me was, and this feels maybe like, we've said it 1,000 times, right? But reminder and repetition, I feel like, is always beneficial. So it's really getting into that place of your heart and like seeing that energy build from your heart center and then expanding out and expanding through your whole energy body. The reason for that being is nothing, no dark energies, entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, whether it's something that you're transforming within you, externally, or anything else, can, like, that's the like, I don't want to say the battle against that, right? Because it's not putting a negative on it, but that's how you absorb and transmute any lower vibrational energies. And so it's really getting into a deep, deep just love and gratitude, and then visualize it just expanding through your whole body and transmuting anything that's a lower vibration, because that's the ultimate highest vibration. And that usually brings in more clarity. But there's lessons and gifts in absolutely everything. Not everything feels like it, but then we'd be a little bored too. So like take it on as like an adventure of like, okay, wow, my spirit's awakening.
If I can share this, like don't divulge everything that you're going through with the people who are in your life.
That's a good point.
Because when you're going through a very intense transformation and you share too much information, that then scatters your energy, and it really just, I guess, it places your power in other people's hands. And if you're
searching for answers for other people rather than the knowingness you have within you.
Right, exactly. And so we're affirming to you that like you're going through a transformation, just try to see the beauty in it and keep it to yourself, because again, it's sacred and it needs to be kept secret. Yeah. Sacred and secret go hand in hand.
Well, can I add just onto that, because I don't so I sought support and help, right? But it was using my discernment on the people that I knew would really understand. So some people in your life may totally not understand what you're going through, and then others will. So it's not like you have to go through something totally alone.
No, you don't.
And yet just using discernment with who's going to get it and who's not going to get it, and then maybe make you feel weird for experiencing that. So.
All right, let's take another question. Cool. If it's on your side, then that's cool, whatever. And you guys, please follow Serahdlaine. She's absolutely amazing, and we plan on doing a lot more together.
We have so much fun doing it.
And we're having fun.
Yes. Okay, let me scroll up because we got a lot of comments here, but I want to make sure. I'm feeling. Whoops, hang on. We have a call coming in. How are you guys? You're so amazing. Should I remain?
This is a very brief answer. Should I try DMT or not? I would advise against it. The third eye can naturally secrete that. So if anything, before you try DMT or consider trying it, try to take up a meditation practice. Because if you take DMT and you get overloaded with sensory perception, things can go haywire for you. So just take your time with it. Spirituality is something that has to be treated with respect. And if you try to fast track your evolution, it can backfire because you're not treating it with respect.
That's such a good point.
Okay.
We all try to have like the easy button, or we've had different times of having the easy button, and it's like true deep spiritual awakening doesn't happen through doing rituals every weekend.
And remember, guys, life is your ayahuasca. Okay?
You should make a t-shirt of
you don't need ayahuasca and all that. Life is your ayahuasca. Like, as soon as you step out of your house, you're going to be bombarded. And if you're in tune enough in your house, you'll be bombarded with all kinds of thoughts and things that you can then discharge or kind of reassemble or disassemble. So life is your ayahuasca. You don't need all that crap. You don't need it. Okay? And again, this is not placing judgment. If you feel a calling to do it, if you feel called to it, go for it. Have fun with it. But remember that you do hold all it is that you need within yourself. And it's just a matter of reaching down. Like, you know how you have those raffle tickets or those raffle things? You have to reach down into that basket and pull it out.
I like that.
Pull out the truth.
Yes. And we don't technically need all of those things to have our own awakening. And I had actually a really deep lucid dream about that, where it was like a whole bunch of people in the dream were doing a ceremony. And I don't know if it was ayahuasca or what it was. And then everybody wanted me to do it. And I was like, I didn't feel called to do it. I've done ayahuasca before. I don't partake anymore. But in the dream, I just simply said, I was like, we don't actually need that to reach the higher states of enlightenment. And so there was like this one tiny little, we were in this dome, there was this tiny little pinhole of light that like just walking by you wouldn't have caught it. And so I walk by and I see this little pinhole of light, and if you look for it, you'll find it. And that was the whole analogy, where it was like, you don't need to go through that process, you just need to actually be in the process of looking for it. It might be really tiny, but it's still there.
Absolutely. And again, if you feel called to it, by all means, go have fun. Nothing.
Go for it.
Just remember, nothing is judged by the universe.
Right.
So if you want to explore,
It's an
go friggin'
experience.
explore.
It's an
Have fun
adventure.
with it. You know what I mean?
So this one says, should I remain single?
Yes. You need to remain single right now.
If
because if you're asking,
then you need to
then
remain
you need to remain single.
And I always like to say, you know, getting into relationships, we need to have a really beautiful, strong relationship with ourselves. You know, yes, in relationships, you discover more about yourself and deeper layers of patterns and programs that you've been carrying, and that's what relationships are ultimately and can be beneficial for. But if there's something that you haven't, or that you don't feel like you've worked through yet, that's going to come out then in the relationship. So I usually recommend to people, it's like, hey, do all of the inner work that you know that you can with all of those old patterns and programs that keep you from attracting, one, the partner that is really of your highest value to you and for yourself, and getting you to that next level. We've been doing this all day. Whenever something's good, it's like, yeah. And working on that first, because then they won't show up, and you'll be able to be more of an amazing partner and have deeper levels of connection and intimacy once you can unravel all of those things. And then
Good answer.
They don't come out in a
Very
not
good.
so awesome way.
Very good.
Soul Food says, you guys are so great. Thank you for doing these. I learn a ton. Awesome. Cheers
Awesome.
to you.
Do you have any advice to someone that is developing mediumship and clairaudience?
Ooh.
Yes, I would say try to clear your space, and I mean that as your inward space and your external space as much as you can, because when your auric field starts to get distorted, you're still going to receive the messages, but they're going to get filtered. What I'm trying to say, they're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
So try to clear your space as much as you can. Focus on your inner self as much as you can, and that way, whatever it is that streams into your consciousness, you will trust it as a message that you can validate as true. Okay? So you're doing a great job. Whoever asked that question, you're doing a great job. And the universe is propelling you in that direction. And all you need to focus on is maintaining your vibration. I call it spiritual maintenance. That's all you need to do. By you know, keeping your space clear, pure.
Yeah, I agree with that, because in the higher dimensional realms, everything becomes such a subtle energy. But some things can show up and have a projection onto you of sending different messages, but it's really developing that spiritual discernment to be able to determine what is coming from the highest, and making sure that when you go into, you know, whether that's, you know, you're channeling. I personally don't actually, if I channel in information, I don't bring anything into my body. I access the information, I can hear it, I'm clairsentient and clairaudient, but I never actually allow anything into my physical body.
So it's like you're establishing a telepathic communication.
Yes, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Because once you open up the door to the higher spiritual realms, right, you open up the really beautiful things, but there's also all of the other stuff as well.
And there's a lot of stuff that looks pretty, and it comes in a beautiful wrapping paper with flowers and all kinds of nice things. But what's underneath that package or wrapping paper isn't always so pretty.
And so tapping into the discernment and being able to feel that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, cool. So let me jump over to my site super quick.
For sure.
Will says, you guys are beautiful, awesome. We love you too, sweetheart. You're so great for doing these. Thank you, Mona. Oops, what's going on my let's see. 11:11 in New York City. Awesome.
Okay.
What is your opinion of dreams? Do you believe, this is Angel Marcus, do you believe that angels or God warns people in their dreams? Ooh, this is good. Because I love dream space. Do you want to take that?
You take it because you're such
Okay.
an avid dreamer.
Such an avid dreamer.
You're an avid lucid dreamer.
I am an avid lucid dreamer. So, two things can happen. One, when you're in dream space or state, you're experiencing, you'll go through the different brain waves, right? So you'll go into a dream state, and anything that happened during your day that happened in that particular brain state, when you go into your dreams, you'll re-experience anything that you haven't processed through in your waking time when you're in the same identical brainwave, right? So that can be happening. So if there's anything like that and you're like, okay, what the heck was that, right? But it had to do with either a person or something around your daily life, then that's usually your subconscious processing those details. Lucid dreaming, however, I believe is the gateway to it's one of the gateways to the higher dimensional realms, of which, yes, angels, God, Christ consciousness,
Guides,
spirit
whatever.
guides,
Yeah.
anything you want, including your next highest version of yourself, can actually be accessed there. So I call it the wall. So it's like when you're, you can train yourself to do this. Also, when I was 13, I was like experimenting with this. So as you're falling asleep, see if you can hold your conscious awareness up until that point where you then go unconscious. And there's a tiny little wall there that is like between conscious and then unconscious. And that wall is the gateway. And that's where lucid dreaming happens, where different messages can come in. And a lucid dream, basically for anybody who's not familiar, is it's those dreams that you have that are so real that you wake up that you feel like it was an actual tangible memory. And you can actually control them at those different times as well. So I've had messages come to me. I've had different guides come to me. I've had a lot of different things happen in that state, but I won't go into all those details. But yes, I believe that that's where the messages are actually getting through, or at what point those messages are getting through is right at that wall.
Cool. I got a question. This is just a very brief answer. Someone asking me to check out their photos. Can you guys check out my photos? I want you to ask yourself, what was the driving force behind that? Because it's important to really shed light on what it was that prompted you to want that, you know, because you're already loved and you're already perfect as you are, and you know, we're already connected, you know. And sometimes what the inner child does, because it's still seeking acknowledgement, it's wanting to be validated and verified in a way. And so just know that you are beautiful, you're perfect, and I've already checked out your photos spiritually, and you're perfect as you are. Just know that. Okay?
Awesome answer.
All right. So,
what do we got? Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Ingrid. Sipping on that drink, love. You guys are so amazing. Love all your hearts.
yes, T.
Thank
Matten,
you.
we would love to have our photo taken by you. He's a photographer.
Fun.
Hells yeah. We're
Awesome.
down.
Does he live here in LA?
Do you live in LA, T. Matten?
Because that would help.
That would help. Wait. This girl, okay, she's wanting to really get an answer. I've tried asking
cool.
you guys multiple times, same question in different ways.
ways.
I'm now at a loss for words to use to justify my thoughts.
Okay. What's the question?
Let me see if I can go up, scroll up a little bit and find
you
it.
see if you can find that one, and then I'll answer this one. So, Bash, awesome.
That's awesome.
Says, since we were talking about astral projection, loving all your guys' hearts. You're so amazing. Since you guys are talking about astral projection, I have a quick question in relation to that. I'm preggers, so pregnant, and can I astral travel? Fuck yeah. Sorry. That was a little abrupt of an answer. Okay, so let me tap into this one for a second. So I feel like if there's any concern at all, so you may or may not be wondering with this, like, because, so there's difference between, okay, let me back up. Too much information. there's a difference between astral projection and full, like, out-of-body experience. So I believe, for me, I'm getting that it would still be... I'm getting astral traveling, which is where you can go really deep into your consciousness and, you know, travel in those realms. And see what shows up and see wherever you want to go. Full out-of-body experience, I don't know why I'm getting like a no. Like, it's not like a strong, like there would be anything unsafe. I guess I just sort of feel like if I'm tapping into the energy of your baby, there could be a sense of a missing, like you, because your energy body then leaves, right? So it wouldn't be bad, it wouldn't be harmful, but the baby's awareness may then be like, wait, where'd mom go? Right? And there would be a missing feeling. So I think using it at your discretion, but I don't think it would be super harmful. I think I'm just tapping into the baby, and like I said, it would just be like, where did she go? And with a new mom especially, you know, the baby wants that energy around all the time. So I hope that answer helps. But nothing to be afraid of. So what I mean is, if it happens accidentally or whatever, I think that if it does happen, there can always be information that you could be bringing back down to your conscious self, of which case then your baby would also be able to take on as well.
Perfect. This is a good question. Money woes, money problems, any advice? I would say, like, for your money issues, try to see, well, first off, you know, we always want to go inside and figure out what the fear is, all right? So it's usually a fear that's based in lack, that you won't be provided for, that you won't have enough. And the universe has positioned you in a very strategic way so that you can, you know, there were many years where I wasn't making any money, but it forced me to face my fears around it and be okay with having nothing and find that happiness within, you know, and find peace. It's really about peace of mind and not letting that rattle my cage, if you will. So I would do deep inner work to try to figure out, where's the fear stemming from? What is it? Is it a distrust with God or source or a creation? Or creator? What is it? And then also, in a more practical way, try to see, like, are you overly frugal? You know, and because oftentimes we cut ourselves off from that source of energy when we're overly thinking as to what to spend and who to spend on. And if you can just step outside of your paradigm and start to intently spread that money, whatever money you may have, whatever money, even if it's $1 or $2, and you give it to someone, that's letting the universe know that you're wanting change, that you're wanting to go in a different direction now, right? And for me, that's what I did for a long time. And actually, the healing took place really fast. So as soon as I was willing to, you know, step out of my box of comfort, which was eating like tuna cans and being broke, I was able to, like, then, you know, reach, like, come out of that box and try to give to people with whatever I had, and setting that intention, and then something unblocked. Another thing with money is, I want you to really start to get in touch with your lion self, with that fierce spirit animal that is like the king or queen of the jungle, right? And by connecting to that essence, it's truly like connecting a tube with that animal, and you can start to draw in that energy. And that in itself will activate that root chakra, which is the money chakra, and will start to activate that particular energy point so that you can then draw money into your life.
Totally.
Okay?
To second onto that too, so similar to how you said with fears, right? We take on the beliefs that our parents have about money. And usually they're similar patterns as well. So they're belief patterns as well as their, like, physical, tangible patterns, meaning, you know, are they somebody that, like, spends frivolously, or are they somebody that, like, you know, takes in money and then has to save it all the time and then doesn't, you know, it's not bad, yeah, like hoarding it. And so all the different beliefs about that, right? And that can bring up, like you said, with the fears. The other thing and something that you know, a mentor told me as well that really helped me is money is like a consciousness, and it is an energy, right? So how you think about money, the things that you say about it, if you wouldn't say something like that to, let's say, a friend of yours, they wouldn't be your friend. Like, nobody would want to hang out with somebody that's like, oh, and it's so frustrating, and how come I need it, you know, for this? Like, what's your energy conversation around money? And if you are somebody then that's, you know, takes it and then tries to save it, right? Okay, so let me back up. Because saving's still good, right?
Saving is still good.
But a balance of, so if you're only hoarding it and then not having that balance of a little that you save and then a little bit that you put out, if you're only like just saving it, then it's almost like that energy is going to feel trapped. So
it's also going to get old.
It's also going to get old.
Energy
stagnant.
does get old.
Yeah. So it needs to be free flowing, and it wants to be around people that talk well of it and appreciate the benefits that it can bring to you or do for you, as opposed to the conversation of, oh, well, I need it because I have to pay my bills and I have to, you know, it's two different energies.
This is just another, like, sorry to chime in, but this is just another perspective. When you do spend it, what's
What are you spending?
But what's $4 or $5 like taking a friend out for a coffee?
Right.
What's $4 or $5 if it means that you're giving yourself a healing session? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we spend money on stuff that.
Yeah, it's like you can truly heal yourself just by spending $4 and committing to that decision. Like, I'm treating my friend today, and then when you hear that inner critic come out and be like, oh, you may be with $4 less now, and it's not going to come back to you. Then it's a great opportunity for healing, you know, and you can really address those.
Reverse that thought.
Immediately. Reverse the thought.
Catch it. Reverse it.
Thought. I love that. So reverse the thought, right? Mic drop. Reverse the thought. Someone said that. Awesome. Reverse the thought, and then give it. You know, I had a store. I was in my favorite neighborhood, Larchmont, a few months ago, and I got a parking ticket. Oof. And parking tickets are $73, and the way that I used to be, because I was so tight with money, because I was so poor, is that I would punish myself. Oh, you got a parking ticket, you can't spend for the rest of the week.
Oh,
right?
I had that one. Oh.
So then I was like, you know what? $73 is a great healing session. So you know what? I'm going to reverse it. All right? And I'm going to go ahead and still spend a lot of money today. And just see it as a great opportunity to break those patterns. And so I got the parking ticket, moved my car, and I went about my day, treated myself to an amazing lunch, continued to treat myself. And when you do that, you're really, really sacrificing your fears to come into more light, to get closer to God or Source.
You're saying what you want, not what you don't want. And you're being consciously aware of your thoughts, and then choosing the ones that you want.
Right.
Choosing to keep the ones that you want.
And you're unsubscribing to what isn't. You're unsubscribing.
To negative thoughts.
You unsubscribe. You unsubscribe to that mailing list.
Yes, that's so badass.
That's good. You got the reverse, I got the unsubscribing.
Yes, totally.
It's a beautiful exchange. All right?
We need to make t-shirts for this.
Unsubscribe to what is limiting you.
Yes.
That's a good quote.
And unsubscribe to your negative thoughts.
Yes. And start subscribing to what is going to up your game.
Yeah.
Right? Start subscribing to what is going to up your game.
That's an awesome analogy.
Good.
Killer. Okay, cool.
Killer.
Let's
I feel
see.
so much heat in my body. I think
Dude,
it's all the love.
So warm right
it's
now.
The love.
I
think it's the love.
Okay.
You guys are so awesome. Yeah, reverse and unsubscribe. I know. That would have
We can. Okay. You guys.
We love you too,
answer
Humbly Molly. Shalom.
Oh, love you. You guys answer something for me every time. Kick ass. Awesome. That was Ingrid. Cool. Oh, wait. Hang on. Loving your guys' hearts. Okay. Is this helping? I'm guessing that this is because, and I love that, like, this community helps that community, and then post, and we're all in the same. So how do I know?
I feel the heat, you guys. She just said she feels the heat.
Oh, good, awesome.
Like,
look at, I'm like my cheeks.
I'm like in Florida, right, or something.
And it's really cool outside.
I know.
We're just, it's our little
hello
community
Germany
with you guys and everything.
Germany says hello.
Badass. Okay, how do I learn? I lived in Germany for like 2 years. How do I learn about spirit guides and get closer to them? Ask them. That's really
Good.
the simplest
Okay,
one.
that's good. I have something to respond. They're still on the money subject.
Did you find that other question?
Someone
from
said
the woman?
money. No, I didn't. Money is my biggest stress.
Okay. There's a
All right,
pattern
this
there.
is what I want to say to you guys.
Okay.
When you clear whatever fear, that rhymes. When you clear whatever fear is is associated to money, in your next incarnation, if you choose to come back, you will never have to deal with that again.
Oh.
Ever.
That deserves a mic drop too.
That deserves a mic drop. So when you pay your dues in a certain area of your life, and you clear the charge, you neutralize the charge, never again will you have to revisit that lesson. Okay? So the reason I had so many problems with money is because I've lived many lives spiritually, meditating, blah, blah, blah. This life is about freaking let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's integrate. Let's integrate.
Break the cycle.
And then it's like now, it's like clear it. Done.
Yeah.
It's done. Like, done. You may come back as a freaking prince or princess. Who knows? Whatever it is.
It's what cycles you're willing to break in this lifetime so that you don't have to have them in the next lifetime.
You won't have them in the next lifetime.
Yep.
Okay? Whatever it is that feels really prominent in your life and it's painful, it's
you're
something
like, I
that
want to break this.
It's something that you've been carrying many lifetimes or that you inherited. Okay? Good.
Drop it. Cycle breakers, where are you?
Mic drop.
Mic drop. That's what I'm calling them. I mean, we talked about that before, where it's like
my friend Mario says that too. Hi, Mario.
Yeah, awesome. That he says cycle breakers.
No, mic drop.
Oh, mic drop.
Okay, you
cool.
meant cycle breakers.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that because I love that.
So cycle breakers are this thing that, or this type of person, right? And so give some hearts or loves or think about whether this is you or not. So this is just the only term that I got to call everybody because they seem to be.
I love it. I love
they seem to be kind of, you know, coming around our community, right? So a cycle breaker is somebody where there's something that's happening either in your life or it's happened repeatedly enough times that now you have this just guttural response of like, I am breaking this cycle once and for all, whether that means your family, whether that means your relationship patterns, your money patterns, whatever it is, it's this guttural thing where you're like, I am here to do it, I will do it, so that it either doesn't come in the next lifetime or you don't pass it on to your children.
Ooh.
So that is a cycle breaker, and at the same time, it can also feel very alone because you don't know, like, you don't feel like people are really going to understand, like, why you have to, you know, break that cycle on whatever that is for you.
Break the curse.
Really strong,
be
break the
a
curse.
cycle breaker, be a curse breaker.
Yes.
All right?
So.
I had a friend who was Mormon.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't accept, you know, their children to be gay.
Okay.
So he was afraid to come out.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, you have a responsibility to come out. Because you're supposed to defy whatever cycle you're caught in. Your parents are going to grow through you coming out.
And they'll either do that in this lifetime or the next one.
Or the next. And if they do it in the next, it's all good. He did it.
What happened?
He did it, and he's officially, you know, out, and he's still not sleeping with men. So there's still a little bit of a blockage. Like, he's still
but
like...
is his family supporting him? Or?
No, they're not supporting him.
Okay.
They try to bring it up a lot.
So
But I think that we have a responsibility to honor our truth.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have a soul contract with our family members. Yeah. That if we actually live our truth, it may not bring up the best reaction in them.
Right.
But will it grow them? 100%.
Well, and
None of us grow when we're comfortable.
That's such a good point.
None of us do.
We wouldn't grow if we weren't uncomfortable.
Right.
Nobody really does anything when they're super comfortable.
Exactly.
Other than lounge around.
Exactly.
But you have your own integral commitment to your own soul in this lifetime. So even your contracts with your family members, yes, there's that dynamic, but then it's, okay, what are you going to take on for yourself and the lessons that you're here to learn and whatever cycles you're here to break and curses or whatever it is.
And it's,
so
you
awesome.
guys,
More
it's very scary to break curses because I feel like this is an important topic. It's very scary to break cycles.
You feel
because
alone.
you think about it, like, you're going up against so many energies, not only the energies of your family, but every energy that's adopted that belief system. So it's a lot. But the thing is, you're here to be a soldier of light. okay? And you're here to lift the dark fog that is weighing on our beautiful planet. And if you want to make it easier for yourself by saying that, like, all right, I'm not doing this for myself, I'm doing this for the freaking planet.
Yes.
Do that. Use whatever
she needs
approach.
Saving right now.
Yeah,
it's
use
so much help.
You use whatever approach you need for yourself to alleviate the pressure. And be like, you know what, I need to do this for planet Earth, and that is what it means to assimilate a planetary consciousness.
Or your children for
Absolutely.
planet Earth.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
And that's why we're here, and this whole community is here. Like, there's more people that are waking up and supporting each other and holding each other to that, like, next highest level to ourselves and being like, fuck yeah, like, let's do this.
We're freaking all holding hands, you guys. That's why we feel the freaking heat in our body.
I know.
Like, we're all holding hands
My
right now, and
face
we're
red.
and we're like, we're doing
hot.
this work like collectively. You know what I'm saying?
Collectively and on our own. We have our own internal patterns.
Right.
I work daily on mine. I've had so many of them that I am like, nope, I'm done with that. Nope, I'm done with that. And I want to move through them fucking quickly.
Yeah.
Like, done.
And
Done
if
with
you
all
don't
of them.
move through them quickly, that's
okay.
okay.
Too. Yeah.
You know, because
There's no
we
time.
can't really understand what we're really serving. Maybe you need to take your time with things, because if you go too fast, it might affect someone in a negative way in another area of the world.
Yeah, so taking your own time
Don't
with
be
it.
hard on yourself. You know, if you're like taking your time with things, take your time with things. It's all good. As long as your heart is pure, your intention is there. I know I poured wine.
What is this?
Right? That's what
What is this? How can I accept losing without depreciation? I think is what that means. Depression? Depression.
Oh,
I think
depression. How can I accept losing?
Depression. Okay.
You're not losing. That's a false belief system. You know, the depression that you're going to undergo when you lose whatever it is that you lose is really just a release of energies that are not congruent with your energetic system anymore. So it's not a depression. I wish people would understand, like, don't give so much power to doctors all the time. Don't, like, you
right, and
don't,
what you can be prescribed.
yeah, it's like, it's so
for.
funny because we're so quick to give $5,000 to a doctor.
Right.
And then someone like you who's like able to just freaking go in there and is asking, like, I don't know, 250 or 300, whatever. Someone who like you who's able to go in there.
Transform it.
You don't even, like, people question that, and they don't question giving $5,000 to the doctor.
Yeah.
That's because we're afraid of them. We're like, we give them so much power. You can do
and
your
I'll be
thing.
honest.
Right.
That's the easy button. And yet there's repercussions for taking the easy button. Like, the prescription is the easy button.
It's the easy button.
Right? And yet there's so many different things that can happen with that. Your health, you know, your vibration, all of those things.
And
go down.
again, everything we share is a perspective.
Totally.
So if you're on medication right now, we're not advising that you get off of it. There can be, spirit can live in medication. I was on very intense medication for, you know, for stuff, and I had a Kundalini awakening in the midst of that.
Yeah.
So spirit can bypass and override anything. So if you're on medication right now, it's all good.
Yeah.
Take your time, keep building your inner constitution, and you will know, you will hear this inner voice say to you, all right,
When
maybe
it's
it's time
time.
to hire a naturopath. Maybe it's time to hire an Ayurvedic specialist or whatever it is, or a person like Sarah or me or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you'll know. You'll
Yeah.
know. Okay?
And waning off at the same time. It's not a just
It's
cut
not- yeah,
something off.
exactly.
Like, there's ways to...
You have to slowly, because again, you're going against the belief system of your parents that if you get off the medication, you're going to lose your mind again. So do it in secrecy.
And your own subconscious.
But do it in secrecy. That's what I
Yeah.
had to do. It's like I
did it.
I looked for a good naturopath.
Yeah.
I had a 2.5 hour conversation
Oh,
with
so
him.
you're saying, like, if your parents are against
If your parents
you-
are against you getting off the meds,
Right.
less is more. Don't tell them. But really build your inner constitution. That can take
Yeah.
5-6 years. It took me 5-6
That's
years
a
to
good
get
point.
off the meds. I went to the gym every day and I was like,
Yeah.
let's build from the ground up. Let's make this happen. And then once I felt confident, I was able to look for someone who was suitable and hire him, and he looked at me and said, there's nothing wrong with you. You were never bipolar. Let's get you off this medication and
Yeah.
wean you off. So that's what it is. Just take your time. Don't wean off too fast or stop everything, because that's not self-loving either.
Right.
Be kind to yourself.
Be so kind to yourself.
Yes.
And when I was dealing with super high anxiety, because I was picking up energies from all over the place, so it was turning into anxiety in my body. And I thought for a second that I should go on medication, and I wasn't. I was like, everything in my body was like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like that's congruent for me.
Wow.
So I went completely holistic, vibrational medicine, like, and that's been such a benefit because I learned so many other amazing things on what options there are for that.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we think that we only have one option, and that's usually what society says the option is. So we think, oh, well, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and there's no other option.
And we're very conforming.
Very.
By the way,
there's always support that is more on a natural level as well.
Absolutely. Do you guys do readings? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I do readings. She does readings. She's
sessions.
absolutely amazing. So definitely check out serahdlaine. She's amazing.
How can I... Oh, wait, that's the same question. Yes, laugh out loud.
Awakened Conscious Collective. Dude, you are amazing, man. I love you, man. And truly your energy is so pure, so magnificent. I tuned into your live the other day. If you guys aren't following Awakened Conscious Collective, please do so, because he has such an amazing energy. And he epitomizes living your truth.
Yes.
He really does.
I've already followed him, and I found him because of you. And
he's amazing.
So awesome. So yeah, definitely do that. Okay.
Oh, what's your website? How can I get a reading from you?
Mine, so I'm redoing my website, so it is a blog page right now.
Oh, it's on her link, her bio.
Yeah.
Her bio. Just email her.
Yeah, I would say just email me or send me an Instagram message. So find my Instagram, which is at serahdlaine.com. It's serahdlaine. You tagged a photo of me anyway, so
I did,
that's
yeah.
easy to find.
Yeah, you guys, you can go
to
the last photo and check out serahdlaine and follow her.
Yeah, but I'm like rebranding and redoing all that stuff. So it's a blog page, and that's
the universe is amazing because Sarah and I met 10 years ago.
I know.
10 years ago.
Has it really been 10 years ago?
Through a friend.
Damn.
And I was like,
Sonia,
back then we hardly saw each other because like I think you were vibing really high, and I was really, I had
just come back from Sedona.
I was like so, I was so depressed and like so like, but I saw a power in her. And then after my Kundalini awakening, a few years after, I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm going through this, like what's going on? So we met 10 years ago, but it goes to show you the universe converges your paths. When it's time. When it's time. And obviously it is.
Dude. We've had so many fun conversations. Yay.
All right, cool.
We're like soul twins.
We're soul twins, yeah.
Okay, did we answer this? How do I get closer to my guides? Or was that somebody else's question? So I always say with spirit guides or anything like that, like they're so gentle and they're never going to interfere or intervene unless you ask for it.
Yes.
So if you want to have have a stronger connection with them or a stronger conversation with them, then be like, okay, I am here. Get into a meditation.
Yes.
You know, whether you go astral projecting, whatever that is, get into your heart space and allow the information to come in really softly and really subtly because it's not going to be the loudest. That's the ego.
It's the ego. When you're dealing with the angelic realm or spiritual guides, it's very subtle. So when people say, like, I hear them audibly, I'm like, you're hearing dead people who haven't passed. But when you're dealing with higher frequency, it's going to be very subtle. It may be like a zip file. It may be like a zip file that's like, you know, loaded with information, and then you have to unpack it or unzip it, and then you'll find that there's a lot of information there. Like when I receive downloads, it's like so many visions and so many things at once, and it just happens in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So
just tap into it, and you'll.
And then the other thing about spiritual guides is keep in mind that they may be you. Your spirit guides are like, you're multidimensional, right? So whatever we call a past life may not be a past life. It may be a past life that you couldn't really rectify or resolve, so you chose to branch off into a different life. And there are all these different versions of yourself, like serahdlaine 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, and you guys are working
layered
together.
On top of each other.
Yeah, it's like an overlay, and like you guys are working together to integrate the you that you are a match to this reality with.
To this dense reality.
Right.
Like this physical form is the dense reality.
Right.
All of the other ones
are
etheric.
So you guys split off, you branch off, and so a lot of the guidance that you're getting is from spirit guides. But it's also, it might be your other selves. I call them simultaneous selves.
Simultaneous selves?
Simultaneous selves.
Good. I like that.
Or different parts of your multidimensionality.
Yeah. And there was a visual that my roommate showed me too, where he was like, close your eyes and, you know, kind of tap into that energy and say, okay, how many, I call them fragmented selves. What did you call them?
I call them simultaneous selves.
Simultaneous selves. I like that. So the tap in, be like, okay, how many simultaneous selves do I have almost active, like out there, right? And the first number that comes to your mind, let's say it's 5. I see as like coming from the heart center, right? And then you have like one cord over here, and then one cord here, and then one cord that goes out that way, like a fan, like a little spider web fan. And each one of my dimensional selves is attached to those. So what I do is I call them back in and reintegrate them into this energy body and physical body, because then they're also coming back with all the information that they've gained in that dimensional reality.
Absolutely.
And
I always see them as like flying discs, like very advanced, technological discs. And so when you're reintegrating those parts of yourselves or those pieces of the puzzle, it'll feel like there's a disc that it comes into your body, and you're like, ooh, like I just retrieved a piece of my soul. Like, it's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So play with it. It's fun.
Play with it. There are no rules. That's what's so great about planet Earth. It's a planet of free agency. You get to choose what it is that you want to do. There are no rules. Have fun with it. Have fun with it all. All right, good.
There are certain dimensional rules.
There are dimensional rules, like.
But as far as what you can play with and what you can't, there's just what you want to play with and what you don't want to play with.
That's true.
That's what I'll say.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. As long as like the intention is pure.
Yes.
And you're wanting to remember all that you are, it's okay. It's okay, you know? Just don't go around doing harm or, you know, be very responsible. And tapping into
things that aren't, like I said, they can look really nice, and they can even say, oh, I'm your spirit guide, you know? And it's like, okay, call in the highest possible vibration, and then that will be, you know that for sure that is of the almost
the
purest,
highest
it's
benevolent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so good, Sarah, if you could look at the light, you will find it. Exactly. Oh, that was my comment before. Okay, yes.
Thank you, London Bissett. I really appreciate that. I love your...
Do we all have to go through the dark night of the soul? That's a great question. Thank you, Daniela.
I think we go through it all the time when like a friend hurt. So I'll give you a very simple example.
Like Phoenix deaths?
Like I call them mini deaths.
Mini deaths.
It's if a friend hurts you, you're gonna feel hurt or down for a few days. You're gonna feel sad. That's a dark night of the soul. But it's not a massive dark night of the soul. You understand? Right. So we go through them. They're inevitable.
Grieving, death, releasing, and then what emerges and what lessons and what gifts emerge from that.
Right.
Yeah. You say mini deaths. I call them Phoenix deaths, because the Phoenix, everybody knows that, right? Like in the ashes, and then you rise from the ashes.
Yeah.
And when you're rising from the ashes, you're taking on whatever lessons those were. If you didn't get the lesson, you're going to go through the same situation and relive a deeper dark night of the soul, right? In order to then get the lesson and get the benefit.
Yes. Beautiful.
Awesome. Love you guys. Such good questions.
How long can the dark night last? It can last. It can last a while.
Yeah, that totally depends. I think mine was 2 years.
It also depends on how you deal with it. Like
That's
if
true.
you see it as like a privilege or an honoring from the universe or an offering, then you may actually clear through those files faster. But if you see it as a bad thing and you complain to your friends or whatever it is, it's going to postpone.
That's a good point.
That, because a lot of people are depressed, quote unquote depressed, and they tell their mom or their dad like, "Hey, I'm feeling tired today," or blah blah blah. And it's not the depression that's the problem; it's what you're saying that's the problem, and that keeps you encapsulated in this perpetual cycle.
That's a good point.
Okay.
So one person, Erica, says, "How do I find my true calling?" Do you want to take that first?
How can you find your true calling?
These are great questions.
So we have like this very ancient or historical belief system that what we do for a living is going to be separate from what comes to us naturally, from what we are impassioned by. And if you love to bake cookies and it's fun for you, who's to say that you can't make a living baking cookies and starting to distribute them to your neighbors, and then that eventually blossoms into something greater?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, what can you do today to make yourself feel, to follow that path of passion whether it be going for a hike or taking photos or baking a cookie, to then pulse out into the universe that you love what you do. You love doing this. You feel a sense of what's the word? Exuberance when you're doing it. And then there are no rules. Again, like you can really become a baker, and a lot of the people who made it in music or who made it as actors, whatever it was, it just came naturally to them. And they followed that.
Art.
Yeah, it came as an art, and they truly loved it. If someone is going after something for the wrong reasons or to fit into a specific mold,
Right.
then you're conforming. You're not really living your true self. You know, I know a lot of, we live in Hollywood, so I know a lot of actors who go for it, but it's still.
I was in the industry for
you were
like
in
15
the industry.
years. Yeah.
And a lot of people chase it, and it stems from that part of themselves that still is seeking acknowledgement. So. But if you can actually do
it's a creative process.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Everything is like a spiritual process. But do what comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
Do what comes naturally to you. If you love to travel, maybe you just do that, you know, and see where that leads you.
There's ways to make money at that. People are doing it all the time.
Hells yeah.
They're now, travel bloggers, and they're, like, making amazing...
And you guys, you know, as millennials, like, the universe is serving us right now. Like, social media is available to you. The world has become so small, you guys, so you can really do anything that you want to do.
You can go anywhere.
You can create anything that you want to create. So just have fun with it, you know?
Yeah. And I would say, too, that, you know, especially with the, like, having fun part, like, if you're in joy and you're in happiness, then that is your soul's calling.
That is.
Because you're not going to be doing anything that is your passion, your purpose, is not going to, or is going to have joy in it.
Exactly. And
so
again,
if you're not in joy, it's not your passion.
And if you're chasing something out of passion that isn't, you know, showing you, isn't fruitful yet, physically, that's okay. Address what's coming up for you as you're on that journey. I'm afraid that I'm not going to make it. I'm afraid that,
fears.
you know, address the fears. So if you have a calling to be an actor or you have a calling to be a singer and that's what you live for, then commit to that journey. Commit to that journey. And then when things come up like fear of not providing for yourself or you want to run back home or whatever it is, be like, no, I'm not going to take the bait. I'm going to really address this and I'm going to trust universe or God with all that I am, and I'm going to keep trucking forward.
And keep doing it until it's not fun anymore.
Right.
Nobody says that you have to do one thing and that your passion, your purpose is one thing your whole life.
It can't, like, we are...
That would be so boring.
We are constantly evolving, you guys. Constantly. So it's normal that you may move out of relationships. It's normal that you may lose friendships. It's normal that you may stop chasing the same dream. But don't get it twisted. The fire is simply transferring onto a different area of your life.
Yeah, you don't lose the fire. You just move it.
Yeah, I was... Ooh. Say that again.
You don't... You don't lose the fire, you just move it.
I feel like I'm in a church service right now. Oh my God, like I just felt spirit move all over me. But yeah, so yeah, you don't lose it, you just move it. And that passion will never leave you. That fire will never leave you because you are a spark of the divine, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And do so they were saying too, how do I find it? And I would say, do a meditation with yourself. And get really deeply in touch. Oh crap, we're at 1 minute.
Wait, what did you say? You don't lose the energy?
You don't lose the energy, you just move it. So like energy doesn't disappear, it just changes form.
That's amazing, you guys.
So, but I would say, how do you find it? Do a super deep meditation with yourself and tap in and say, what would make me happy? What would really make you happy?
Yes.
And then once you achieve that answer, right? Then say, okay, what would that actually make me happy? And if the answer is no, then say, okay, what would actually make me happy? You keep going up and up, right? And then merge that energy with yourself.
Right. And you may start off with one passion, which is like, for me, it was like, I know I want to meditate the rest of my life, right?
Right.
And then it started as energy healing. And then I was like, I like this, but I don't know that it's it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't peg it. And then it was like, all right, well, then I started moving into guidance, and I was like, wait, that's it. That's it. So start off with whatever, even if it's more generalized, start off with what comes naturally to you, and that will fine-tune itself as you go on that path.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
So we have
56.
55 seconds. Yo.
We love you
we
guys.
love you.
I'm going to do a shout out on the quick thing where if anybody wants a session, I'm going to do them for $150 for you guys because you're in this amazing community and that's a value
And she's a
of
powerhouse, you
$275.
guys. This girl's a powerhouse.
Cut through it. So I'm going to offer that. So anybody who wants to message me within the next 24 hours will gain
Absolutely
that. So $150 for
serahdlaine, I'm gonna shout you out right now.
Go for it, love
at
it.
serahdlaine.
You got it.
Serahdlaine. Please follow her. She's amazing.
And continue doing sessions with my brother because he's awesome.
Absolutely. We love you guys and
You've been amazing.
Infinite blessings.
Yes,
all right?
thanks for
Bye-bye.
tuning in. Mwah.